Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our channel Report Insights. We hope you're doing great. In this video, we will talk about Trump reacts strongly as Kamala hits him where it hurts. In a dramatic turn of events, former President Donald Trump faced intense scrutiny as Vice President Kamala Harris delivered a pointed critique that struck a chord with his supporters. This confrontation, marked by sharp exchanges and heightened tensions, has sparked a wave of discussion and debate. In this piece, we'll delve into the details of their clash and explore why Harris's comments have had such a significant impact on Trump. If you are interested in this topic, so to get all the information, pay attention and watch the video through to the end. Please hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to push the notification bell for an upcoming video. So without any further delay, let's jump into the video. In a striking display of his trademark bravado, Donald Trump has recently dominated headlines with a new controversy: his fixation on the size of his rallies compared to those of his political opponents. Trump's comments and reactions have sparked intense debate, particularly in light of Vice President Kamala Harris's apparent ability to draw larger and more enthusiastic crowds. As Trump grapples with the impact of Harris's rising popularity, the political landscape is shifting in unforeseen ways. Trump's crowds via historical comparisons, a controversial claim. Trump's latest remarks have stirred significant controversy, especially his audacious claim comparing the size of his January 6th rally to Martin Luther King Jr.'s iconic "I Have a Dream" speech during a recent press conference. Trump boasted, "I've spoken to the biggest crowds. Nobody's spoken to crowds bigger than me." He continued to draw a comparison, suggesting that his rally had a crowd size on par with or even exceeding that of King's historic speech. This assertion is not only highly contentious but also deeply disrespectful to the legacy of King's civil rights work. The audacity of Trump's claim cannot be overstated. Bragging about the crowd size of an event that became infamous for the violent insurrection undermines the gravity of January 6th. To suggest that such a crowd could rival King's speech delivered in pursuit of civil rights and equality demonstrates a troubling disregard for historical significance and context. Trump's fixation on crowd size as a measure of success reveals a broader obsession with ego and self-validation. Trump's grievance-driven rhetoric, a focus on media coverage. Trump's obsession with crowd size extends beyond his remarks about King's speech. He has frequently criticized media coverage of his rallies, complaining that they failed to accurately report the size of his crowds. "Listen, I had 107,000 people in New Jersey. You didn't report it," Trump lamented, expressing frustration over what he perceives as biased media portrayals. He contrasted this with his criticisms of Kamala Harris's rallies, alleging that the media unfairly highlights her events even when they draw smaller crowds compared to his own. This focus on media coverage underscores a broader issue. Trump's public persona and campaign are increasingly driven by grievance and ego. His complaints about media bias and the perceived unfairness of coverage reflect a deeper frustration with his diminishing influence and the rising prominence of his opponents. Kamala Harris's campaign strategy turning the tables. Kamala Harris's campaign has effectively capitalized on Trump's vulnerabilities, using the contrast between their rallies to their advantage by holding events in the same venues as Trump but drawing larger crowds and generating more energy. Harris's campaign has created a powerful visual contrast. A recent side-by-side comparison of Trump and Harris rallies in the same location highlighted stark differences. Trump's events often featured empty seats, while Harris's gatherings were packed with enthusiastic supporters. This contrast has become a focal point for Harris's campaign, emphasizing her growing appeal and Trump's waning influence by showcasing the disparity in crowd sizes and energy levels. Harris's campaign has successfully highlighted the contrast between their two candidates and leveraged it to undermine Trump's perceived dominance. Trump's reaction, a sign of vulnerability and unsettlement. The New York Times recently reported that Trump is feeling unsettled by Harris's success, and the media coverage she receives. The article suggests that the large crowds and the positive media portrayal of Harris are having a profound impact on Trump. The size of Harris's crowds, her star turn on the stage across all of national politics, and the way she's being received has unsettled Mr. Trump. The report notes this acknowledgement of Trump's discomfort underscores the effectiveness of Harris's campaign strategy and its impact on the former president's state of mind. Trump's reaction to Harris's growing popularity reveals a deeper vulnerability. His preoccupation with crowd size and media coverage highlights a significant insecurity that is increasingly evident as Harris's campaign gains momentum. This vulnerability not only affects Trump's public image, but also raises questions about his ability to maintain a strong and resilient leadership presence. Implications for leadership and national security, a troubling prospect. The implications of Trump's reaction extend beyond mere political theater. His sensitivity to crowd size and media portrayal raises concerns about his suitability for leadership if Trump is so easily rattled by such factors. It highlights a troubling vulnerability. The susceptibility to manipulation by more strategic and ruthless actors, both domestically and internationally, raises significant concerns about how he might handle sensitive national and global issues. Consider the implications of a leader who is easily swayed by flattery and public perception. The potential for adversaries like Vladimir Putin, Xi Jinping, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, and Kim Jong-un to exploit Trump's ego for their ends is a daunting prospect. The ability of these leaders to manipulate Trump through strategic praise and psychological tactics could pose substantial risks to national security. The dangers of an ego-driven leadership style. Trump's fixation on crowd size and media coverage is not just a distraction, it reflects a broader issue of leadership and vulnerability. The dangers of a leader driven by ego and easily influenced by external forces are significant if Trump's reactions are any indication. His approach to leadership is characterized by a troubling mix of insecurity and self-centeredness. The notion that Trump's ego can be so easily manipulated by external actors raises serious questions about his ability to navigate complex international relations. The prospect of adversaries exploiting Trump's vulnerabilities for their gain is a significant concern, highlighting the need for strong, principled leadership that is not easily swayed by superficial factors. Conclusion: the Trump show and its implications. As the political landscape continues to evolve, Trump's ongoing battles with his insecurities and the effectiveness of his opponent's strategies will likely remain central to the narrative. While Trump may view his press conference and subsequent rants as a show of strength, they may ultimately serve to further expose his weaknesses. The Trump show, with its focus on self-aggrandizement and grievance, is showing signs of wear, and as his frustration grows, it may only serve to further undermine his position. In the end, Trump's fixation on crowd size and media coverage reflects deeper concerns about leadership and national security. As the political drama unfolds, it is clear that Trump's challenges are far from over, and the consequences of his approach to politics will continue to resonate across the political spectrum. The Trump show may be tired and dangerous, but it also provides valuable insights into the vulnerabilities and risks associated with ego-driven leadership. The recent exchange between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris has underscored the deep divisions and heated rhetoric defining today's political landscape as Trump navigates the fallout from Harris's cutting remarks. It remains to be seen how this confrontation will influence the ongoing political discourse and his future endeavors. Stay tuned as we continue to monitor the developments in this unfolding political drama. That is all for today in this video. What are your thoughts on this? Please let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching the entire video. Hopefully the information is useful to you. See you later in the next video. Till then, take care.
Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel Report Insights. We hope you're doing great. In this video, we will talk about Trump reacts strongly as Kamala Harris hits him where it hurts. Donald Trump recently drew significant attention with his controversial comparison of rally crowd sizes, notably suggesting that his January 6th rally had a larger crowd than Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. Trump's claim made during a press conference reflects his ongoing obsession with crowd size and media coverage. He asserted that his rallies drew unprecedented numbers, contrasting this with perceived media bias against his events compared to those of Kamala Harris. Trump's remarks have sparked widespread debate, particularly because they compare the crowd size of rally involved in January 6 insurrection to the historic and peaceful civil rights march led by King. This comparison is seen as a troubling distortion of historical significance and reflects Trump's fixation on self-aggrandizement. His grievances extend to media portrayals of his events, where he feels that his large crowds are underreported while Harris' smaller crowds are exaggerated. Trump has frequently criticized the media for what he perceives as unfair treatment of his rallies compared to those of his political opponents. Harris' campaign has effectively turned this dynamic against Trump, using the contrast between their rallies to highlight her growing appeal. By drawing larger crowds and generating more enthusiasm, Harris has created a stark visual contrast that undermines Trump's claims of dominance. Recent comparison of rally sizes have showcased this disparity, emphasizing Harris' rising popularity. The New York Times reports that Trump is unsettled by Harris' success with her large crowds and positive media coverage have a significant impact on him. This reaction underscores Trump's vulnerability and effectiveness of Harris' campaign strategy. The broader implications of Trump's reaction raise concerns about his suitability for leadership. His fixation on crowd size and media portrayal reveals a troubling vulnerability and susceptibility to manipulation. This characteristic could pose risks to national security, especially considering the potential for adversaries to exploit Trump's ego for their own ends. Overall, Trump's preoccupation with crowd sizes and media coverage highlights deeper issues with his approach to leadership and suggests significant challenges for his campaign as he struggles to maintain his position in the political landscape.